it into the fermenter now. I've just sanitised it with a bit of VWP and gave it a good swill out afterwards, because unlike the Star San, it requires a swill after you've sanitised it. So whilst that's filling up, I'll tell you what the plan of attack is then. Right, so I've got most of the readings, as you saw in the last video, the amount of beer I've got out and whacked in the cube, the shrinkage of the cube, stuff in the cube, which is about 4%. And the next thing is to do the equipment profile, and I have set that out in the past, so let's go and have a look on the old computer and see what we can do. Okay, so here we are at the old computer, and I've got a couple of profiles already set up. Me Fart Herms one, which I've been using all along, and me British Real Ale. Basically, me British Real Ale is a book that I've got with all my different recipes in, and it's scaled at 19 litres, and I've adjusted it so that I can convert from that to that. Any road up, that's nothing to do with what we're doing today. Right, the most important part of BeerSmith, from what I can gather, is setting up the equipment profile. So to do that, we need to set up a new profile. So if we press the little button there, there's two ways of doing it. We can do it with the equipment wizard down the bottom here, which takes you through like page after page, or we can do it on here. And as you can see on here, it just brings up bits and bobs that I've already entered in the past, but I'll do a new one so we know what we're doing. So let's go into the wizard, and we'll call, well, my equipment, that'll do. So the batch volume is how much beer is measured into the fermenter. So I like to put in about 22 litres into the fermenter. It goes arse about face, this does. It starts with how much beer you want in your fermenter before you start fermenting the stuff. So I like 22 litres into my beer. And then you've got the fermentation loss. So I usually lose about 3 litres with all the gunge at the bottom, and as you know, I save some of that and use that again and again and again, and recirculate the yeast. So fermentation loss 3 litres. The bottling volume, that automatically sorts it out, how much is going into your keg or bottles, and I keg with 19 litres, so that works out quite well. Top up water, I leave it as it is. I don't top up unless I can help it. Loss to trub in the chiller, I usually lose about a litre. Coolage shrinkage, when I've finished boiling, as you could see from the 28 litres that I put in, I get 24 litres, and that's normally standard. I always seem to end up with 24 if I'm boiling for 60 minutes, so it works out at 1 in there, the volume lost to shrinking when cooling the wort. It's probably a bit more than that, I guess, but no, that's what it comes out to normally. Right, next. So the post-boil volume, like I say, is 24, so that's after it's been boiled up. The boil time is 60 minutes, so basically we are getting boil-off rate per hour of 4 litres per hour. So let's change that to 4. And then that automatically works out your evaporation rate per hour and the total boil off. And the boil volume that I started off with was 28, which is a bit obvious really. 28
minus the 4 equals the 24 that I've left after the boil. This you normally leave at 100%. I don't know why, but you do. I don't bother with the whirlpool time because I never whirlpool my ingredients in. If you wanted to, I guess you could just put whatever you want on that. Brewhouse efficiency. Now this is the bit that it all works on, and we need to put something in there because we don't know what it is yet. So I'm going to put what shall I put? 75%, just as a starter. Mash tun volume, that's the amount of the full amount of the mash tun, and mine's 30 in litres. The mash tun weight, mine, I weighed it and it weighs 5 kilos, so it's 5,000 grams. Specific heat in degrees, if we look at this, stainless steel look, which is mine, you can have stainless steel, plastic or aluminium. Mine's stainless steel, so I'm going to alter that to 12. Additional water to add to the mash to compensate for recovery. I don't add any on that. And the launter, the volume lost due to dead space in the launter tun, I reckon it's about a litre on mine. It's not very much at all. Adjust mash volume for losses, so we'll tick that and press OK. So there's my equipment profile. So that's how we set up an equipment profile. Now the next stage is going to be adjusting that to fit the measurements that I've, you know, the hard measurements, if you like, the amount of losses, true losses, and all the bits and bobs that I've already gone through. So that'll be on the next video. So thanks again for watching the Old Farts Brewery, and we'll come back to this in part 3 of how to work out brewhouse efficiency on BeerSmith.